BNED stock is correcting from the intraday high of 1.35. It printed on Wednesday, the 22nd of May 2024, and it's currently down 28.0% as we count down to the close of today's session. That is today, the 24th of May 2024. So let's get back to what's going on right now live. This is what's going on. And see, a few minutes ago we had this downward plunge. You can see the market. This is its price channel. You can see there's a huge plunge now down, and scalpers they've come in and they bought that deep, and this this volatility. Yes, this is the volatility has to contract for us to for another trend to a mini trend to occur. So that's what we are watching right now. The company disclosed a form 424B3 yet today, the 24th of May, and here they are indicating that they're going to raise $95 million of new equity capital through a fully backstopped $45 million rights offering and a $50 million new equity investment. And also that the company's existing second lien lenders will convert approximately $34 million of outstanding principal and any accrued unpaid interest into BNED common stock. So these are things you have to be very much aware of. So there's some liquidation that's coming in. The company has also received a commitment to refinance its existing asset-backed loan facility pursuant to an agreement with its first lien holders, providing the company with access to a $325 million loan facility maturing in 2028. So in the very short term, there's going to be some dilution up to around $34 million. So yeah, this is what's going on, and as of the day printed this intraday high of roughly $1.3, we had the probability that that trend was going to continue. We had a probability that it was going to continue at the probability that it will continue was the probability that it was not going to continue rather was 100%. It was absolutely 100% statistically that it was not going to continue, and that is what we saw. A few minutes after it reached that high, it plunged all the way back, and in this session we have seen that it's approaching on this 45-minute chart, it's approaching support of around 0.5509. But if you want to see, based on what's going on right now, as things stand right now, the probability that it will this downward trend will continue, this retracement we're talking about right now, given all the news and everything, it's around 64.57%. The probability that it's going to pivot and maybe look up a bit, is around 35.54%. All of these are based on the daily chart figures, the daily chart data. But if you want to know what the probability that it's going to spike to this high of this resistance of around 0.8090, and then if we have to do that, then we're going to use the current price of around 0.5866. Yes, 5866. We're going to use that as its average. So we're going to subtract this projection of 0.89. We're going to subtract the current price from this projection of 0.89, and then divided by the standard deviation of 0.265. So we're going to do that right now. We come to this this site. It's called the calculator.net z-score. We come in here and enter those figures, 0.8090, and then we have the probability that the average of we're using the current price as the average, because we don't want to try to find probabilities out of the blues. We have to relate the current reality, which is this where this price comes in, the current price right now. Obviously this may have changed, but since it's a 45-minute chart, so but it just gives you an idea of the sort of things we're talking about right now. 0.0265. Let's get the probability we are looking at right now. The probability that it's going to get there The probability that it's going to get there is 0. Based on how things are going right now, the probability that it will get to at least surpass 0.89 is 0. The probability that it will remain right around where it is right now is 100%. Yeah, right around where it is right now. The probability that it will get there is not very good, not very high. But one thing we can equally do is also instead of using that standard deviation of the standard deviation of 0. That's on this 45-minute chart, we can still use the standard deviation on its daily chart. Let's find out that standard deviation. We're mixing things up now. We're mixing the figures. We're superimposing the projections from its 45-minute chart on this daily chart, and also stealing its standard deviation, and the standard deviation is 0.312. We're trying to manipulate things here. We're trying to see whether we can get something better. 0.312, 0.312, is that what we have there? 0. Let's get it 0.3012, 3012. Let's find it. Let's see what we have. Okay, the probability that okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, that probability is the probability that it will remain below 0.89 is 0.890 is 76.99%. The probability that it will get to and surpass 0.8 is around 23.014. But naturally, you would expect that would be the case. You would expect that would be the case. Obviously, since the standard, it makes sense. I think, if anything, it makes some sense to use the standard deviation we have just used now, because it gives us something. It gives us some figures. We had 100% and 0. Well, it is something, but it was just too extreme. They were too binary. It was just 1 and 0. That was what it was. But here we have a mix of things. So. But how accurate are these things we have done now? How accurate are they? It's just something we all have to keep on reviewing and keep on reviewing and refining to find the best way to determine some of these probabilities. So if I have to go back again, so on the 45-minute chart, okay. On the 45-minute chart, we have the next upper projection from where it is right now. Let's see, that projection is 0.89. Has it changed? It was 0.8090, and then we tried to find out what the probability that it will get there. So we used this current price, and we said you subtract the current price from this 0.8090, and then you divide that by the standard deviation. We initially used the standard deviation on this 45-minute chart, which is a smaller one. It's smaller. It's on this the 10 period. It's 10 period standard deviation on this 45-minute chart. It's a smaller figure, and then we obtained that 100%. We obtained a figure that said that it's that the chance that it was going to remain below 0.890 was 100%. And but we tried to refine it by using the standard deviation on its daily chart, and it's based on the 10 period, 10 day standard deviation. Sorry, it's 10-day moving average. Okay, so we obtained this with this probability of 76.968. This is the probability that it will remain below 0.8090 dollars. The probability that it will get there and surpass it is 23.014. So Let's see what's going on right now on as things stand. We're counting down to the close of today's session. We can see a huge spike. It has now shaved off around 6%. Yeah, we're seeing a huge spike now, a huge spike. And I was just saying that there's going to be should be some contraction, and we saw a fairly some contraction before this spike ensued. But we're definitely going to see a pullback. We're definitely going to see a pullback because it's naturally when you see the stock trade through its price channel, then there's a good chance that the retracement will occur. So some people are already gradually taking their money off the stock. Let's hang on and watch what's going to happen. Naturally, a retracement is supposed to happen, and we are. Let's see whether we're going to see any of that. Still trading outside its price channel. Yes, it's pulling back now. Pulling back. Always very good to have this price channel. It gives you an idea of how things are playing. But on trading view, it's not as simple as what we have here on Think and Swim. Yeah, it's pulled back right into that price channel now. Let's see when it's going to decay further. Yeah, so 0.615 is not exactly a projection we saw. We really didn't bother to look at a lot of projections. We just only considered 0.80. Yeah, but we can quickly have a look and see its 1 minute chart and see whether anything like that is in play. That might give us an idea of well, there's nothing like that. There's no upper projection so far. On the 1 minute chart, it's actually there's nothing like that. Let's look at the 5 minute chart. Let's see whether we have any upper projections. And we don't have any on the 5 minute. Let's see the 15 minute. Let's see what we have. Yeah, there are upper projections. We have all the way towards 0.8475. Below that we have 0.7365. We have 0.6995, 0.6687, 0.6471, 6071. So just slightly above where it is 0.6194. Let's see what's going on. Okay, still holding on. Okay, decayed slightly, decayed a bit. So this was around. Okay, yeah, it's still holding in. I'm pulling back into that into the market grid. So once again, I think we should also see, like I said before, the contraction before another trend, a mini trend occurs. A trend, whether regardless of how short term it is, this price will definitely. That's usually the pattern. It will contract and consolidates and then contract this bubble that has formed right now before another spike occurs. But nothing stops it from suddenly occurring again. But if it continues to occur, then expect at some point that a contraction will happen. I mean, all of these are the sort of things you know very well. So yeah, we're counting down to the close of the session, and we're watching BNED. Yes, earlier on we pointed out that with this downward plunge that saw it blunt plunge through its price channel, that it was going to this bubble, this downward bubble was going should be or will be contracted before, or contracted or compressed before we see another spike, and that was the case. It moved for a couple of minutes. Let's see, it moved for a couple of minutes. Yeah, let's see, roughly 10 minutes, roughly 10 minutes before we saw another upward trend ensue, and we're now we're seeing it now, trading within that price channel, contracting and trying to compress this bubble that has occurred before any other thing happens again. We're seeing something else. Um, we've seen yeah, some upward move as well is coming up. Yeah, some upward move. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're seeing some consolidation, trying to compress this the bubble that occurred. Yeah. Okay. In any case, see what you make of BNED. We have projections of 0.809, and the probability that it will get there, we determined it as the probability that it will get there is around 23.01 for 23.01 percent, and that looks decent. That's a decent probability. That's a decent one. It's decently yeah, decently yeah, decently placed. You wouldn't expect it to. Naturally, you wouldn't expect it to be a very high percentage. 23, I think, is very much a decent. Okay, so we're seeing a further compression, further contraction, further retracement. Trying to fill up this bubble. Before we see before we see any other thing occur again. So yeah, once again, have a look and see what you make of BNED, and thank you very much for watching this video.